doing that hour, that's speaking. And we saw in this message of being led, we saw that in our lives it's important that we know who leads us. It's important who leads us, but we also saw it's important what leads us. Because we can be led by many things, many emotions, many feelings, many circumstances, and we need to make sure that what is leading us in the right direction. Because whatever is leading us tonight will determine where we are right now and where we will end up. So if it's negative things that are leading us, then we will feel we'll be in a negative place right now. And if we continue on that path, then we'll end up in a negative place. And we looked at the last time at Moses and at the children of Israel, and we saw that they were led by despair at times. And we saw that, when they were in bondage in Egypt, they were definitely in despair. Every day was the same. There was no hope. There was no expectations of anything changing. They were living and they would die in bondage and slavery. Even at that time, God had a plan. At the time when God's people were crying out to God, God had a plan, and Moses was being born, and being born in a difficult time. At a time when the children were all the male children were to be killed, there was God's plan in action. And we know the story, Moses would be saved, and Moses would be the deliverer for those people. And we saw that we need to be careful that we're not led by fear. Because fear will hold us back from going forward. Fear will hold us back from doing anything. Because we'll fear to do anything. We fear to go forward. What if it doesn't work? What if this? What if that? And if we're led by fear, of course at times we'll all have circumstances that bring fear into our lives. But it's when fear leads us that's when we miss the blessing. And we saw with the children of Israel, when the 12 spies went into the promised land, came back with the news of the promised land. They were right there. They were about to enter the promised land, but they were led by fear. We cannot go up. It's too hard for us. The enemies, all the opposition, there's no way we can go forward. And for all of those people, they missed out on the blessing of the promised land. They'd come from Egypt, they'd come through the Red Sea, they'd been through the wilderness, they were nearly there. But fear kept them back from entering the blessing. And we see that fear, if we let it lead us, will keep us back from ever achieving what God has for us in our lives. We saw there was many things. We saw anger and pride can also lead us. We saw it even with Moses. Moses was the meekest man on the earth. Yet, and we saw so many times the care and compassion Moses had for those people, even when they tested him. But we saw that sometimes you can be pushed too far. And when they complained once again that they had no water, God told Moses to speak to the rock. In anger and frustration, Moses smote the rock twice, and the water came out. And that anger, in that moment, cost him the promised land also. And we see it, if we are led by anger, and we continue to follow that, it can lead us into bitterness. It can lead us into a place where we become consumed by the thing that has wronged us, consumed by what has happened. And we saw that we need to let it go. We need to overcome it, we need to forgive the person, we need to move on and not allow that thing to be the thing that controls the rest of our lives. So we saw in Moses that he was led by love. Love for God and love for the people of God. And we saw that was a great love. And Moses was also led by faith. Moses, as negative at times as the children of Israel were, that was offset by the faith that Moses had. Because Moses believed God. In every situation, Moses knew that God was with him. That God would do what God had promised him to do. God said he would get into the promised land, so it didn't matter if the Egyptians were there. It didn't matter if the Red Sea was before them. It didn't matter what would happen in the wilderness. God said they were going to the promised land, and Moses believed that. And that's what faith is, brothers and sisters. It's belief in God. And if we're led by faith, then we will enter the blessings that God has for us. And as I say, it's important to know who leads us. It's important to know what leads us. And we're going to look again at this subject. We're going to look at a man who was a leader, who could have been a great leader. But there was many things that stopped him from truly accomplishing what God had for him to do. And perhaps we will look at this tonight and see God may have great things for us to do. And we need to see, will we accomplish them? Or will the things that affected Samson's life, will they affect our life also? You know, Samson was a great man of God. Hebrews tells us he was one of the heroes of faith. But we know there was many things in Samson's life that stopped him from being the leader that he could have been. They stopped him from being the leader that he should have been. And we'll see tonight in that. You know, Samson, as we say, had a great start to life. You know, if we turn with me over to Judges chapter 13. We'll just read from verse 2 of Judges 13. And there was a certain man of Zorah, of the family of the Danites, whose name was Manoah, and his wife was Barnabas. And the angel of the Lord appeared unto the woman and said unto her, Behold now, thou art barren, and bearest not, but thou shalt conceive and bear a son. And as we see in this, Moses would be a very special, Samson would be a very special child. He would be a Nazarite from his birth. And God would give him tremendous strength, and God would bless him in a mighty way. And you know, it's great to have a great start in life. And you know, if you are a young person in the house of God, then you've been given a tremendous privilege to be brought up in a Christian home, to be brought up, or to be brought to the house of God. You know, we saw this morning so many of the young children here in the Sunday school, and they've been given a tremendous privilege to be brought to this house of God, brought by grandparents, aunts, uncles, parents to the house of God, and to hear the things of God. To hear the things of God. You know, there's many great starts in life, but this is the greatest. To hear the word of God and to know the things of God. We know, just as we see with Samson, it's one thing to have a great start, but there's a responsibility. And just as we see in the house of God, you know, just because you're brought to the house of God by your parents or brought along to the house of God, that doesn't make you a Christian. There comes a time when you have a responsibility to know, is the root of the matter in you? You know, it's not enough to say, I've went to church. I know certain, you know, you meet people in Sutton Hall Street who've been brought up in Christian homes but have wandered away, and they know stories from the Bible, passages from the Bible, they can talk about it, but that's all they have. They don't have an experience of Jesus. They just learn things in Sunday school, they just were taken along to church. And we see it must be more than just being brought here. You need to know the Lord as your own personal Saviour. You need to know the Lord and His power in your life. It's not enough to say, I've seen God move in other people's lives. I've seen people's lives being changed by the power of God. Has the power of God changed your life? Have you experienced salvation in your own life? That's what must happen. You know, also, as we look at Samson's life, Samson knew the power of God upon his life. But as we all know, Samson made many errors in his life. And we see that a good start, whatever age you may be, it's not just how you start, it's how you finish your course. It's how you finish your course. You know, if you run a marathon and you run off at the start, right at the front, and you're the first couple of miles, you're at the front, you know, that's great. But if everybody in the marathon passes you by the 15th mile, then it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how good the start was if you don't finish the race. If you have to stop because you couldn't make it to the end. And we see the importance of keeping our eyes upon the Lord. Keeping our eyes on the Lord, and this is what we'll see in the message, the importance of looking to God and following God for everything that happens in our lives. We see with Samson that God came to his parents and promised them that this child would be born. And he would be a special child because Manoah's wife was barren. And the angel of the Lord came and he says to her, now therefore, this is verse 4 of Judges chapter 13. And the angel of the Lord appeared unto the woman and said unto her, behold, now thou art barren, and bearest not, but thou shalt conceive and bear a son. Now beware, I pray thee, and drink not wine, nor strong drink, and eat not any unclean thing. For lo, thou shalt conceive and bear a son, and no razor shall come on his head, for the child shall be a Nazarite unto God from the womb, and he shall begin to deliver Israel out of the hand of the Philistines. You know, this was a tremendous promise of this child that would be born, of what he would do. But we see it wasn't just what he would do, there was a responsibility upon her. There was something that she had to do. She had to make sure that she didn't drink wine nor strong drink. She wasn't to eat any unclean thing. And you know, we see in this tonight that as parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, members of the church, we also have a responsibility. We have a responsibility to be good examples. To be good examples to the young people in this church. That they see in us a life that we have left for God. You know, we looked last time at Moses. Moses was a great leader. He was a great leader because he was a great example to the people. He lived the life before them. You know, we see that he had compassion upon them. You know, at times you'll meet people who are leaders, and they lead by fear. They lead by, you will do this, or there'll be consequences. You will do this, or this will happen to you. But Moses was a leader who led by love, who loved the people, who cared for the people. You know, when God told Moses the plan, Moses shared that with the people. He didn't just say, we're doing this. Why, Moses? You don't need to know. You just do what I tell you. No, Moses shared what God had told him. Moses told the people, God is going to deliver us. God has got a plan. God will take us here. How do you know? Because God's spoken to me. And you will see that Moses was a good leader and a good example. And you will see, as parents and as people in the church, we are an example to these young people who come here, these young children. For some of them who will come to the Sunday school, some of them who will come to the Covenanters, they will have no other Christian influence in their life but what they meet when they come to this house. And we see the responsibility that we have to live our lives. Not just to say, this is what you should do, but we don't do it. But they say, well, this is what we should do, and this is how we live our life also. And we see there was a responsibility on Noah's wife and on Noah to bring him up and to do the right things. They had a responsibility upon them also. And we see that Manoah, when his wife tells him the angel came, we see what he says in verse 8 of Manoah, and verse 8 of Judges 13. And Manoah entreated the Lord and said, O my Lord, let the man of God which thou didst send come again unto us, and teach us what we shall do unto the child that shall be born. And if we jump to verse 12. And Manoah said, Now let thy words come to pass. How shall we order the child? And how shall we do unto him? And you know, sometimes when God comes to us with a promise, when God says, this is going to happen, and we say, Lord, that's great. Tell us everything about it. Tell us everything we need to know about this plan and this promise. You know, we've been praying for a pastor, and very often we used to think, we're praying for a pastor, God's called us to pray, but what will we do when the pastor comes? What if he doesn't know sonship? What if he doesn't understand this? And what will we need to do in this situation? What will we need to do in that situation? what did the angel of the Lord say? In verse 13, and the angel of the Lord said unto Manoah, all of that which I said unto the woman, let her beware. She may not eat anything that cometh of the vine, neither drink wine or strong drink, nor eat any unclean thing. All I commanded thee, command her, let her observe. Child, just do the thing I've asked you to do. Just do the first thing you've been asked to do. You do that, and let me worry about the rest. I know sometimes we come to God and we say, God, you've given us this promise, you've given us this plan, tell us all about it. And we work out all the different things, and God says, no, all you need to know is you need to pray. I've told you to pray, the rest I'll take care of. Sometimes we come to God and the Lord says, all I want you to do is to wait. Oh Lord, we will wait, but once we've waited, then how long do we wait? And what do we do once we've waited? And what with it? The Lord says, all you need to know is you need to wait. That's it. Just wait on me. You don't need to know every bit of the plan. Just you need to know this. Wait or pray. Hold on to the promises. You know, there was in, back in the days before GPS, when ships went through the Norwegian fort, at night, all they could do was point to the first lighthouse. And once they got to the lighthouse and the turn of the fort came, they would see the second lighthouse. And at that point, they'd point the ship to the second lighthouse. And the same would happen again. And sometimes all God says is follow the light for today. Follow the light for today. Don't worry about tomorrow. Don't worry about what we do tomorrow and what we do next week. The Lord says all you need to worry about is what we do today. It's to live your life today for me. I'll be there tomorrow. You trust me for today. And that's what the angel said to Manoah. Don't you worry about what you'll do with the child when he's older. This is all you need to concentrate on right now. And that's what he did. And Samson would be born. And Samson would live a life and do great things in his life. And do many great victories in his life. But there was also great disasters in Samson's life. As we look at Samson tonight, let us seek to live and do the great things that Samson did, and let us hope to avoid the pitfalls that Samson fell into. And as I say, we'll look in the points, we'll just a very simple acrostic, the word LED, L-E-D, and the first point is the light. You know, Brother Robert last Sunday evening spoke about the light. We turn to John chapter 8 and verse 12. Then spake Jesus again unto them, saying, I am the light of the world. He that followeth me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have the light of life. If we follow the Lord, if we follow the light, then we will not be in darkness. If we're led by the Lord, then we're led by the light. And if we're led by the light, then our lives will not be in darkness. You know, when you're in a dark room, you need a light to see where you're going. You know, sometimes on a Sunday night, just before we go, I just go through it to check things are off. Sometimes I forget, Mike reminds me, sometimes I forget. And when you go through here, the room's in darkness, and Gary set the chairs down. So you're feeling your way for the first chair, and then you're feeling your way through the chairs. But if you've got a light, not even all the lights, all you need is a light to light the way. And then you can see where you're going. You're led by that, even that small light on your phone, it just lights the way through, and you can see, here's chairs, here's the way through. And it's the same in our life. You know, at times, things can seem dark. At times we can be in dark times in dark places. You need the light. You need to follow the light. Because if you follow the light, you won't go off the path. You won't go wrong. You know, sometimes, not so much now, but in the winter when we would get home, if we hadn't put the light on before we left the church, the close would be in darkness. And you know, as soon as we get in the close, it would be, right, get your phones out to shine on the stairs so we can see up close. And that's it, brothers and sisters, the same is true in our life. You know, if we follow the light, if we follow the Lord, then we'll see where we're going. And we'll see the path that God has for us. But if you don't have the light, if you're not following the light, then you'll wander in the darkness. And you might think, I think we're in the right place, I think this is where I need to be. And you find you're far away from where you're supposed to be. You always see that, you know, when you get into the car and it's at night, you turn the lights on. Why? You have to see where you're going. The lights the road in front of you, especially if you're on a road you've never been. You need the light to light the way. And brothers and sisters, in our lives, we need the light. More than ever, we need the light. It's a dark path at times. There are many obstacles, there are many problems. And we can walk in the light. And if we walk in the light, then we'll get to where God wants us to be. You know, Samson knew what it was to walk in the light. If you turn to Judges 13, verse 25. Even in verse 24, and the woman bare a son, and called his name Samson. And the child grew, and the Lord blessed him. And the Spirit of the Lord began to move him at times in the camp of Dan between Zoar and Eshtaol. And if you look down just to 14, 5 and 6, and Samson went down, and his father and mother to Timnath, and came to the vineyards of Timnath, and behold, a young lion roared against him. And the Spirit of the Lord came mightily upon him, and he ran as he would have been a kid. And he had nothing in his hand, but he told his father or his mother what he had done. You know, on many occasions we read the Spirit of the Lord came upon Samson. And Samson knew the power of God and the light of God on his life. And when he walked and was led by the light, and when God's Spirit was upon him, Samson done amazing things. Samson done great things because he was walking in the light. He was in the will of God. God's presence was upon him. And he done great things for God. And brothers and sisters, the same thing is true for us. If we walk in the light, if we walk in the light, then God will bless us. And we will do great things while we're in the light. While we walk in the light, while we know the presence of God, we will do great things. We will, unfortunately, there were times in Samson's life when he wasn't led by the light. And you know, when you don't have the light, then you're in darkness. Darkness is just the absence of the light. When you don't have the light, when you don't walk in the will of God, then you find yourself back in darkness. And when you're in darkness, then you just have to try and find where you're supposed to be and do what you're supposed to do. But it's much harder in the dark. It's much harder to do things in the dark than it is in the light. You know, sometimes you see people, you think that you get dressed in the dark. You think if you had been dressed in the light, you wouldn't be out like that. And you always see the difference that the light makes. And you think most people would want the light. Who would want to be in the dark? Well, if you're breaking into somebody's house, then I imagine you'd want to be in the dark. You'd want to be in the dark. You don't want, as you're breaking into the house, floodlights that come on and light up the whole place and everybody to see. Well, there's somebody. If you're breaking out of prison, you've all seen these films. They don't wait to try and get out in the middle of the day. They wait till it's dark and they hope the spotlight, the floodlight is moving on before they move around. Why? Because you don't want to be found out. I know sometimes we don't want to walk or be led by the light because the light exposes what we're doing. The light exposes things that perhaps we're doing wrong. So we don't want the light. We'd rather be in the dark. We'd rather do the thing not for everybody to see. But we see while we walk in the light. And if we're in the light, then we know the will of God. It's when we don't want to be in the light. There's a reason why we don't want to be in the light. You know, at times Samson didn't want to be in the light because Samson wanted to do his own thing. He didn't want the Spirit, he didn't want to be led by the light because the light would have shown him up. It would have shown up the situation. And sometimes in our own lives, we don't want the light. We want to step out of the light to do what we want to do. And then we think we can always just get back into the light when we're ready. And unfortunately for Samson, that's exactly how he lived his life. He thought he could step out of the light, do his own thing, and he get back into the light when it suited him. And as we find towards the end of the story, that wasn't always the case. And we see that Samson, as we mentioned, was led by the light, walked in the light, did great things in the light. But there was these occasions where he stepped out of the light. And that's the second point, led by everything. Led by everything. You know, for Samson, it was mostly led by his flesh, led by his desires. And you see that as Christians, we aren't called to be led by everything. We're not called to be led by this thing and that thing. We're called to be led by God. We're called to be led by the Word of God. And that at times is a narrow light. It's a narrow light that lights a narrow path. You know, other people live their life led by whatever they want to do, whatever they want, whenever they please. But we've not been called. We've been called to be led by the Word of God and to follow God's Word. You know, in Judges chapter 14 was the beginning of it for Samson. Judges 14 verse 1. And Samson went down to Timnath and saw a woman in Timnath, the daughter of the Philistines. And he came up and told his father and mother and said, I've seen a woman in Timnath, the daughter of the Philistines. Now therefore get her for me to wife. And his father and mother said unto him, is there never a woman among the daughters of thy brethren, among all my people, that thou goest to take a wife of the uncircumcised Philistines? And Samson said unto his father, get her for me, for she pleaseth me well. You know, at this point, Samson, this was all he wanted. He didn't care about the light, he didn't care about what God wanted, this is what Samson wanted. And you know, this would lead Samson into problem after problem. All of Samson's troubles came from decisions he made when he wasn't in the light. All of his problems came from decisions and choices he made when he wasn't being led by the light. And all of our problems will come when we don't seek God's will for our life. When we don't walk in the light, but when we choose to do something else. You know, I'll just turn it, Psalm 119. Psalm 119, verse 105. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet, and a light unto my path. That's what God's word for us, brothers and sisters, is a lamp unto our feet, and a light unto our path. And if we follow the word of God, if we're led by the word of God, then it will light the way, and it will show us where we need to be and what we need to do. You know, that doesn't mean that it won't lead us into difficult situations. That doesn't mean it won't lead us into problems, because at times our lives, it doesn't just mean when you become a Christian and you walk in the light, that's the end of problems, that's the end of difficulties. Your life is just a life in the light. It is a life in the light, but it can be a life in the midst of trials, in the midst of difficulties, in the midst of sorrows, but in the midst of all of these things, the Lord's with you. And you know that in this problem, God has led me here, because God is with me in this situation. The problem is when people find themselves in difficulties and problems and they complain about this has happened and that's happened. And they look back and think, how has this happened? Because of the choices they made. The choices they decided upon. They took this job, they entered this relationship, they did this, they did that. Was it the will of God for them? No. And then they find themselves in problems and difficulties. And we see that that's a different place to be. You know, you can have problems and difficulties, but you know that you're in the will of God. And you know that God is leading you and is with you. But you can be in problems and difficulties because of things that you've done, choices that you've made. When you decided this was best for your life. You knew what the lamp was leading you, but you thought, no, I want to do this. You know, that's what Samson said when his parents said, Samson, don't do this. He says, no, I'm doing this. This is what I'm going to do. You know, sometimes you speak to people and everyone else can see where they're going and the path is going in disaster. They don't see it. They don't want to see it. This is what they want to do. This is the choice they've made. And unfortunately, further down the line, they see it. They see themselves in problems and difficulties. They think, I wish I just stayed in the light. Because sometimes in the light, it's the hard place. It's easier to step out of the light. It's easier to do and to choose your own things. We see how important it is to walk in the light and to walk in the will of God. And we see that when you start to be led by other things, it leads to many problems. Maybe you look at people at your school and they do other things that you're not allowed to do. You look at people at your work and they seem to make choices and they can do this and they can do that. You can't do. Maybe even people in your own family do things and they're led by everything. They're led by what it seems to be led by whatever they want to do. But your life seems to be very rigid at times. This is what God has called you to. This is what God wants you to be. Everybody else seems to be doing whatever they please. And sometimes you see other Christians, you look at other Christians, you think, well, they do this. They only have 2 weeks on a Sunday. They just have to go once. They don't go to prayer meetings. They seem to be able to do this and they seem to be able to do that. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. You just be led by the light. You be led by what God has for your life. You let them worry about their life. I don't mean you don't tell them about Christ. What I mean is, don't look to what other people say. Why are they doing this? And why are these people following that path? You follow the path that God has for you. And God will bless you in. We see with Samson, his choices led to bad company. And in verse 12 of Judges chapter 14, So his father went unto the women. So his father went down unto the women, and Samson made there a feast, for so used the young men to do. And it came to pass, when they saw him, they brought him 30 companions to be with him. Here there's now 30 people. But they should the defence of Samson not really. And they would bring problems, and Samson would find more problems. It's just as I said, you make decisions, and you think it's a good choice, and then you find problems. You find yourself in company that you shouldn't be in circumstances that if you followed the light you would never be in. Samson then puts forth the riddle. Puts forth the riddle to him about the lion that he had slain. That reminded me of a story where Donald Trump came to see the Queen. And he said to the Queen, Your Majesty, I seem to say the wrong things. I seem to do the wrong things. How is it that you seem to order your life so well and people are so respectful of the life you live? And she says, Donald, what you need to do is surround yourself by intelligent people. And he said, but how will I know if the people are intelligent or not? And she pressed the buzzer and said, bring the Prime Minister, if Theresa May came. And she says to Theresa May, if your mother and father are a child, and it's not your brother, and it's not your sister, who is it? And she said, it's me. And Donald Trump said, that's excellent, I'll do that when I get home. So when he got home, he said to Mike Pence, the Vice President, Mike, I just need to know if you're intelligent or not. If your mother and father are a child, it's not your brother, it's not your sister, who is it? And he goes, oh, that's a tough one, President. Give me some time to think about it. So he goes out and he gets his advisors and he tells them the riddle, and they go, I don't know the answer. Don't know the answer. Don't know. He says, I need to go back with an answer. I need to give him an answer. So he goes into the main room, and for some reason, Barack Obama is in the main room. And he says, Barack, if your mother and father are a child, it's not your brother, it's not your sister, who is it? And Barack Obama said, well, it's me. He said, that's the answer. That's the answer. So he goes back, Mr. President, I have the answer. And Donald Trump says, if your mother and father are child, it's not your brother, who is it? And he says, Barack Obama. Donald Trump looks up and says, you are an idiot. The answer is Theresa May. When you see for Samson, he made the riddle all the time he was getting deeper and deeper into circumstances he shouldn't have been in. Problems he shouldn't be in. This would, they pressed him for the riddle, they pressed his family for the riddle, they told him the riddle, his wife. Samson would then kill 30 people. And he could spiral from that. That would lead to more battles. More people would be killed. You get to Judges chapter 15, and it would go on. It would go on. Eventually, Samson gathers them, catches all these foxes, puts firebrands between them, sends them in, they burn up all the fields. So the Philistines then burn his family, his wife and his father-in-law, and then Samson goes down again, and there's a great slaughter. And we see choices that Samson made led them into problems, led them into difficulties. And you will see that with this, Samson could have been, and should have been, a great man of God, and should have done great things for God. And you will see after this story where he sets the foxes in amongst the fields, and then he kills the Philistines. The Philistines come up against, you see this in verse 8, in verse 10. The men of Judah, why have you come up against us? And they answered, to bind Samson have we come up, to do unto him as he has done unto us. Here we see a situation where the children of Judah are put in a situation because of Samson, what Samson had done. And they come to Samson and say, we're going to have to hand you over, Samson. We're going to have to hand you over. No, they feared. They were led by fear. They were led by fear of the Philistines. And instead of trusting one man who could have delivered, had they got behind Samson, if they said, what if we just trust Samson? Samson has done great things, but fear kept them back. Just like the children of Israel, as we saw the last time, the children of Israel so often said, we wish we could go back to be in Egypt. If we were back as slaves in Egypt, that's where we're going. They never even got out of that situation. They never said to Samson, right, Samson, this has happened. What are you going to do? And we're with you. No, they said, Samson, we're not with you. We're just going to hand you over and remain in slaves. We're going to remain slaves. And sometimes we see situations where God says, you need to step out in faith. You need to take a risk. You need to trust me. And we think, but what if we do this and it doesn't work? What if we step out in faith and we believe this and it doesn't come to pass? So sometimes we say we step out. We just stay where we are. We won't risk getting the blessing because we can't take the risk that it doesn't happen. And that's what they did. Instead of saying to Samson, we're with you, Samson. They've come up against us, but if you lead us and we'll be with you, we can overcome them. We can be free. Their fear kept them in bondage, and if we know, they would hand Samson over. And Samson would make himself free with the jawbone of an ass. He would kill heaps upon heaps. And again, in these moments for Samson, these are moments where he was in the light. When God was with him, the Spirit of the Lord came upon him, and he did great things for God. But that's not how Samson's life would continue to be. Eventually, Samson would be led by death. That's the last point. In some respects, we're all led by death. Today's an era, a day nearer the day we're called home. There's a day to be born, and there's a day to die, and that day's set. So it stands to reason that today we have went a day nearer that day. But we don't live our lives. That would be a very negative way to live it, like say, well, a day nearer death. Tomorrow there'll be one day less than I'm dead. We don't live our life like that. And neither should we, because God has given us our lives to live. Our lives to do things for God. And today is a day that God has given us to glorify God. A day to live and to serve God. And if God gives us tomorrow, it will be another day, a new day to praise God, to serve God, and to do things for God. And my prayer is this, that we'll have many days and a long And that time is a long way off. We'll do great things for God. But it's true that one day we will be on the last day. But we don't live our lives just led like that. We trust God, we believe God. We believe God that God is with us. You know, Samson allowed himself to be led by many things. And by Judges chapter 16, you know, in between that, Samson went down to a harlot, a prostitute, and by Judges chapter 16, he's now taken by Delilah. And this was a problem. So often, Samson was led by everything else than the will of God. And we see it when we live our lives by what we think is a good idea. It's very often not a good idea. If it's contrary to the word of God, if it's contrary to the ways of God, then it's never going to end well. It's never going to end in a good result. It's going to end in death. And it's going to end in spiritual death. You know, as I say, we've seen people who have walked away from the church, walked away from God. They've made a choice. They've been led by something else, by somebody else. And they think they'll be okay. They won't be like other people. Their life won't end up like that because they're different. And perhaps they don't even think that they're actually walking away from God. They're just making a different choice. We know what God says we should do. But this is kind of the same thing. And it ends up in spiritual death. It ends up with them doing nothing for God. And life becomes stagnant, and a life they can find themselves maybe many years lost in that situation. A life that could have done great things for God, that could have been used for God, and now it's just wasted back in the world. People who had amazing conversions, saved from so many things, lived a life, and they were led in the light, they did great things in the light, and then perhaps tonight they're back doing the things that they once testified how God had delivered them from. And we see what happens when we are not led, but we don't walk in the light. We find ourselves spiritually in darkness and in spiritual death. I know Samson, through this situation with Delilah, as we said before, you know, sometimes when the devil comes in, it was back when Samson faced the Philistines. No matter the odds, Samson was ready for the battle. But on Delilah's knees, he didn't see the biggest battle he was facing. And sometimes the devil comes to us and we know we need to make a stand for God. We need to trust God. But there can be other times where we don't see it. It's not a big battle, it's not a big thing, we don't think. But the devil can get us slowly but surely away from the house of God, from the things of God. And that's what happened with Samson. He didn't see the battle. He didn't see they shouldn't be there. And this would end with Samson losing his strength, losing his sight, but more than anything else, losing the presence of the Lord in Judges 16 verse 20. And this is after his hair had been cut. And in verse 20, she said, "The Philistines be upon thee, Samson." And he woke out of his sleep. And he said, "I will go out as at other times before, and shame myself." And he wished not that the Lord had departed from him. And here we see a sad situation. As he went out, he thought it was just like every other time, but he was no longer being led by the light. The Lord was not with him. And he would be taken, and he would be led by the Philistines. He would be led in chains. They would put out his eyes, and they would take him down. And here, as we see in Hebrews 11:32, tells us he was one of the heroes of faith. Samson is mentioned amongst the heroes of faith. And here we see him in this situation, defeated in darkness, physically and spiritually. And we see, brothers and sisters, if we don't walk in the light, if we don't keep to the light, we don't keep to the word of God, if we don't let it light our paths, then we will find ourselves, if we do other things and go other ways and make our own choices, that spiritually will be in darkness. I know there's many people perhaps in situations tonight, but in difficult situations, that they don't feel they can come to the Lord now because they've wandered from the Lord. They're far from God. You know, just as Samson was far from the Lord, there's always a way back. There's always a way back for the backslider, for the person who's in spiritual darkness tonight, who finds himself in a situation of wandered so far from God, and now difficulties have come into their life. Samson prayed to God. Samson prayed, Lord, give me the strength back. You know, for people who have wandered, perhaps members of our family, people who once were in this house of God, who are in the far country tonight, there's still a prayer that can be made for the Lord to touch them again and to give them the strength back. You know, for Samson, as we know the story that Samson would bring down the temple where all the Philistines were in, and he killed more in his death than he did in his life. You know, we look at a life that could have achieved so much more. And it's our warning to us, brothers and sisters, that God has great things for us all to do if we walk in the light, if we follow the light. It doesn't matter if we're the youngest person here, the oldest person here, God has still things for us to do. If we follow His path and walk in His ways and in His will, then we will bring glory to Him. Amen. And what's the number of that song again? 3 0